From Software is known for their extremely difficult games. They require you to have precise timing and patience in dealing with enemies, even the normal ones. So when they introduced their new IP Sekiro, Souls fans lost their mind and everyone else was apprehensive at best. This time, instead of the lore being hidden in things like item descriptions and NPC interactions, it was at the forefront and driving the game. No more did you have to look for esoteric scripts or look at hidden rings to find out what happened to the world. Was From Software changing up their formula? Was Sekiro going to be Dark Souls light? Let's find out. What is happening? Mattmade here, giving my review of Sekiro for PlayStation 4. In Sekiro, you play as Wolf, a shinobi who long ago was found on the battlefield as a child by Owl, a warrior and a shinobi for the Ashina Kingdom. Wolf was taken in and trained in the shinobi ways. Years pass and Wolf becomes a full-fledged shinobi. He is then tasked with safeguarding his master, Kuro the Divine Heir. Many things happen and Wolf is defeated, upon which a mysterious figure drops a letter down to him and he awakens. We then take control of Wolf and track down Kuro in order to escape. However, we don't get far before we run into a fight and get our arm sliced off, which then leads to getting a prosthetic arm that allows you to grapple hook around and do various other things. Unlike most From Software games, Sekiro puts the story first and foremost. You have your overall objective of saving your master and taking revenge. However, as you travel you meet new people and learn more about the world which you find yourself in. It's a completely different take from the other games, where the story and lore are nuanced and you need to search in order to piece together the mystery. Sekiro puts everything right in your face, and even your deaths have something to do with the story and affect the world around you. As you die, stagnation takes hold of the characters you've interacted with and they start to show symptoms. It's a really nice touch. While the game does focus on story, don't get fooled. This is a Souls-style game. That means no difficulty setting, and even the scrubs can take you out in the blink of an eye if you aren't careful. Instead of enemies simply having health, they also have a posture meter that is filled when you attack or deflect their attacks. Once the posture meter fills, the enemies are open to a death blow. These death blows will take out most enemies, however, if it's a strong enemy or a boss, then you need to do multiple death blows in order to defeat them. You also have a posture bar, and if it's filled, you can't guard. You can, however, deflect and dodge enemies still. The posture meter for both you and your opponent slowly recovers, but if you press your attack, you can prevent their meter from recovering. Also, the lower the health of you or your opponent, the longer your posture takes to recover, and when you're very low health, your posture doesn't recover at all. Using a mixture of deflection and attacks is key if you want to get anywhere in this game. With the resurrection system, which is the primary focus of the game, hence the title Shadows Die Twice, you can revive only once upon your death. However, you can get more revives if you're able to take out an enemy and live long enough to cool down. This makes it so that you can't indefinitely throw yourself at enemies and keep reviving. It's pretty fair and a nice way to balance the game. Wolf can do many things, especially as you progress and acquire more skills. From sneak attacking an enemy and then darting off, to smashing shields to splinters with his spring-loaded axe. Exploring and defeating strong enemies can yield some really good items and equipment. Your prosthetic arm is there not to only let you hook around, but also take out enemies quickly and more efficiently. Shurikens take out archers and gunners, the axe can take out shields, the flamethrower can do some good damage to enemies, especially when they're covered in oil. There are quite a few prosthetic tools at your disposal and they can be upgraded with materials found in the world, giving you many options to take down whatever you may be facing. The base mechanics are tight and focused. You can go through most of the game without using some of the prosthetic tools you acquire. With only your wit and skill, you can take down bosses and mobs of enemies. Getting good at parrying will save you from many an unnecessary death. Sneaking around enemies and baiting them to thin out their numbers feels satisfying. You can even go so far as to aggro them to get them away from a strong enemy to make that fight easier. By doing this, you can even open up a path to the boss where you can sneak attack them and take down one of their health bars immediately, simplifying the fight and giving you the upper hand, making you feel like a ninja. Yep, I actually said it. Movement in this game is amazing. You have your grappling hook, yes, but you can also ledge grab, wall jump, kick off things or enemies in order to get more height, and scurry along cliffs to get around things. These abilities allow you to get to hidden or out of reach areas. Sometimes these areas yield secrets and items. Other times, there are hidden pathways around enemies, minimizing the number you have to fight. Other times, they lead to a secret boss that will bop you so fast that you don't know what happened. Yep, still a Souls game. There are a few major gripes I have with the combat though. This could be due to my lack of knowledge on Soul games, but why? Why is Wolf so damn fragile? I feel like a wet paper bag and every enemy is a grenade. They shred through you with the greatest of ease. No matter who or what you're fighting, if you're touched, well, there goes almost half your health. I know you're a shinobi and you aren't meant to be seen, let alone touched, but damn, how can you learn what to do against an enemy if they hit you twice and you're dead? Someone please explain this to me. Another issue is that some bosses autocorrect their attacks really hard. You are in midair, sir. You can't just turn 90 degrees and then come down on me like that. You can't just turn your body like that to hit me. You are in the middle of your animation. These things added a lot of frustration to the game. Typically, the game's fair, and when I died, it was due to a mistake I made or my lack of understanding of the enemy. I just had to get good and play patiently. However, these two things plague the game, and you only get slightly beefier as you progress. Even while dying or frantically running from enemies, the game looks gorgeous. The vistas and mountaintops are detailed and have all sorts of nooks and crannies. You can see the history and dilapidation in the world. It looks as though the kingdom of Ashina is falling into ruin and they're on their last leg. In FromSoft fashion, the setting and world help to solidify the story. From a battlefield full of bodies to a valley with a giant snake in it, the world is mysterious, odd, and full of wonder. There are many different areas to explore and visit. Snowy cliffs, dark labyrinths, large castles. The scenery changes and never feels too stagnant or samey. The game is a visual wonder. The sound design is just as good. Being that you need to listen and pay attention to the sounds enemies make and the rustling around you, it had to be. Not listening could lead you to missing out on vital bits of information or not hearing the guard that is walking up on you. Each enemy type sounds unique and different. The soundtrack is pretty good as well. It's not going to win any awards, but it does well setting the tone. The string and flute heavy style feels just right. The music quickens when you're in combat and really kicks into gear during boss fights. It really puts you into the world and helps breathe life into it. Sekiro is a game that will test your skill and patience. It's definitely not a game for the faint of heart or those who have a penchant for rage quitting. You can be throwing yourself at a boss for well over an hour until something finally clicks and you demolish them. It's that kind of game. If you're looking for something that is reminiscent of the Tenchu games, then this is definitely it. From the shinobi tools to the different ways you can take down enemies, everything feels tight and rewarding. Beating bosses and tough enemies feels like a real achievement, honing your skills in the game and bettering yourself as a player. While I can't recommend this game to everyone, those that enjoy Souls games and games like it will love Sekiro. But what are your thoughts on the game? Does it interest you? Have you tried it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And don't forget, if you're a fan of gaming, consider striking that subscribe button and hitting the bell. This is Mattmade, and I will see you tomorrow. Shinobi.